What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within, and today we're talking about gold making, and we have some insane stuff to talk about in today's video. Now, Blizzard threw an absolute curveball. First of all, they nerfed a gold farm that produced a lot of cloth and greens and blues, basically the beach farm at the start of the expansion. We could basically go back here, use time walking, or what's it called, party sync, and do that farm, and they nerfed this live while I was farming, so I saw the nerf happen live, and basically the screen froze for 2 seconds, and when we got back into the game, the mobs no longer dropped cloth, or at least a lot less. We're talking like 2% of what they used to drop before. Now, right after that, they also posted the hotfix where we are now able to shuffle or basically disenchant gleaming shards and turn those into storm dust by, if you go into not alchemy, enchanting. When you go here, you have something called a gleaming shatter right now, where you can shatter shards and make those into dust, and you can make 1 shard into 3 dust. This obviously had 2 effects in the market, where number 1, shards went up in price like a skyrocket, and dust went down in the opposite direction. Shards more than doubled in price, and dust basically halved itself, and in some cases more than half as well, so it's less than half of the value now that it used to be. That being said, quality 3 is still holding strong, and there's a couple of reasons behind that. Now, when you do the gleaming shatter here, when you do quality 1, you will always get quality 1 shards back. However, if you do a quality 2, you will sometimes get quality 2 shards back, or it's quality 2 dust back I mean, but mainly get quality 1. That being said, you have a chance to get the quality you put in, but you mainly get quality 1, and the same thing goes for using quality 3 shards as well. You will mainly get quality 1 dust, sometimes quality 2, and sometimes quality 3. Now, after this went live, we were messing around with this a lot, because first of all, when the farm got nerfed, I went and bought a bunch of cloth, because first of all, that farm was the best one we had for cloth farming. It produced more than twice the amount of cloth of the other farms out there, so I just thought that when that farm got nerfed, the value of cloth would go up as well. So I went straight to the auction house, bought out all the cloth that I could with the gold that I have, and then started, I just waited for a bit until this change came in. Now, the thing about that cloth is that this shatter right here made another disenchanting flip more viable again, where cloth basically went up in price by double as well. It went from 40 gold to 76, and I've sold thousands of them for 76 gold each at the very moment. So cloth doubled in price, shards doubled in price, and storm dust fell to the floor. Now, we have a couple of disenchanting flips from Tailoring, which relies on the price of low quality dust. So you can use quality 1 dust, craft a green, and disenchant that green. So at the moment, that flip is doing really well, and I would recommend you check into it. It is the Tailoring flip with Tailoring plus disenchanting and crafting greens from Tailoring, aka profession equipment. Which one you craft doesn't really matter. I guess it's the chef hat or the fishing hat, whatever. You make one of those and you send it to a disenchanter, and you then disenchant it. I have a video on that as well, but basically for that one you want to spec yourself into utilitarian or the green disenchanting spec, which is this one right here, designated disenchanter, and then to the left. Now, a couple of things to note. When we were testing this yesterday on stream, we were getting between 50,000 and sometimes 100,000 gold per hour by simply shattering essences or shattering shards into dust. Now, when doing this, you can see I have a bunch of crafting speed over 60%, or I guess it depends, like close to 60% here, and 56%. I am not even maxed. I don't even have the Weaver buff. We can get this up to 86 or even 90%, depending on the consumes you are using. Number 1, the flask from Dragonflight still works. The aerated vials of quick hands, I think it's called. That one is 30%, and it's like 20 gold on the auction house for a quality 3. So those still work, by the way. That could be an investment advice as well, because they still work, for now at least. And then you have the new file from the War Within that gives you 5% in quality 1, 10% from quality 2, and 15% from quality 3. I am personally using quality 2 at the moment. So you have those two that you're using for crafting speed, and then for resourcefulness we are shattering and essence, speccing into supplementary shattering. So going over here, when you spec into supplementary shattering over here, you get a lot more resourcefulness, and with the build that I currently use myself here, we have plus 120 resourcefulness when shattering an essence, which basically gives me 6% more resourcefulness when I shatter. Now the thing is, for the flip that I was doing here for this disenchanting or even shattering in these shards, I am not even specced correctly into it. Meanwhile, I was making 90,000 gold per hour yesterday when I was doing this flip, without even being specced correctly. So I was doing this on my enchanting character because I have a lot of skill points here and we have full blue tools. Now in a perfect world, if you want to really min-max this and make gold, you want to have 100 skill points like I have, you want to have all the three rare blue tools and accessories like I have, but instead of speccing into enchantments like I have, you want to have the same spec that I have here, ideally even max this one out by the way for more resourcefulness from these two final nodes, and then you want to spec yourself into Designated Disenchanter and Uncommon Utilitarian. And the reason for that is that if you read the tooltip here, the quality of storm dust produced is limited by the quality of gleaming shard used and is otherwise based on a combination of your enchanting skill and uncommon utilitarian specialization. Now that is this spec right here, so you want to have this one maxed out if you want to really like min-max this. So uncommon utilitarian, max that one out, supplementary shattering, at least max this one out, and then try to max this one out as well for the final two nodes. This one gives you plus 15 resources, and this one gives you plus 30 resources as well, so 45 extra. And at the end here, the shattered essence also lasts an additional 5 minutes, which is pretty important. You save more gold instead of having to pop this one every 10 minutes. So now let's talk about the actual impacts of this change. Number 1, we now have a new gold making flip. That is the one that I just talked about, setting yourself up with a specific character only for shattering essences or shattering shards. If you have a second account, this is a perfect second account activity and it will pretty much always print gold. Now the market will essentially stabilize itself to where you make X amount of gold per hour from doing this, but for now it's a super passive, super easy way to make gold. You're literally turning shards into essences and you just max out the resources that you can as much as you can. You want to have between 90 and 120 knowledge points to spend here, so it's basically a disenchanting character plus supplementary shattering. It's a brand new build that you have in enchanting. Now option number 2, or like side effect number 2 I guess from this coming into the game, is that spending concentration in enchanting just became much better. The margins on enchants just doubled because storm dust went down in price by a lot. Looking at for example weapon enchants, if we go all the way down to Authority of Radiant Power, you need 75 storm dust. Now in the past, if you use your concentration, the main two costly items here is the Profane Tinderbox obviously, and also storm dust. You had to pay about 7,500 gold in storm dust. Now that is less than half of that, so the price to make this enchant suddenly went down by a lot, but the enchant price is roughly the same, and when more content comes out, like raids, mythic dungeons, even mythic plus eventually, people need more enchants, but the price to make them went down, especially when using quality 2, because quality 3 dust is still roughly the same price, because quality 3 dust is still really hard to get from the shattering essences shuffle, because once again, even if you put in a quality 3 shard, you are not guaranteed to get quality 3 essences or quality 3 dust. You just have a chance to. So at the moment, for me to shatter quality 3 shards is a really bad financial decision. This flip makes no profit at all, especially over a long time. So this is a really bad way to get quality 3 dust. If you want quality 3 dust, then shatter quality 1 or quality 2 shards into dust, then use the dust in a tailoring shuffle and disenchant that instead. That is the best way to get quality 3 dust from this shuffle, by involving tailoring and crafting those greens and then disenchanting those greens. So basically, enchanting just became a lot better, especially for concentration crafts where you don't have to power through by using rank 3 Storm Dust. So if you have any enchanting, gold-making army characters out there like I do, then this is actually a pretty good change for you, and you can now start making a lot more gold from your enchants from spending concentration, which also means if you have any characters right now that you haven't set up professions on, enchanting is a really good choice, because number 1, concentration makes more gold, and number 2, Storm Dust being cheaper also means it's cheaper to skill up. Instead of being a 100,000 gold profession, it is now 40,000 gold to set up, and for the most part you make all of that gold back from your first big spendage of concentration. So you can set up professions, you can set up enchanting, spend 40,000 gold, and make it all back in the same day, and then just start printing gold, which is pretty insane. Now, one more thing that I want to point out in this video before I leave you guys alone for today is that when this got announced, Gleaming Shards went up in price a lot. They will eventually stabilize at some point, and I would say the current price you're looking at here might even be where they stabilize eventually. I just want to say, whenever we have the ability to shatter shards into dust, we have usually also had the chance to shatter crystals into shards. Think back to previous expansions where shattering was a mechanic. We have usually had the option to shatter crystals into shards. So something I've been doing here is pick up refulgent crystals, because for now they are very cheap in comparison to gleaming shards. So I've just picked up a couple of them. If we hover over here, I don't know how many we have. Yeah, I picked up 565 rank 2 refulgent crystals, because number 1, I'm going to use them myself anyway, and number 2, if we eventually get the chance to turn these into shards, that these are going to go up in price as well, obviously. So that's just another kind of speculative investment. But if you picked up gleaming shards when that was a speculative investment, they were 7 gold each for Q1 and Q2, and Q3 was like way too cheap as well. So you could have picked up this one for 7 gold each, and it's now 111 gold, which means you would have made absolute bank. I even picked up some of them for that price. So yeah, speculative investments are good, but once again remember, they are speculative. I have bought a couple of crystals myself as a speculative investment, because I believe if Blizzard is willing to put this into the game to shatter shards into dust, I do think at some point we'll be able to do the same thing with crystals into shards as well, because for the most part we don't need the amount of crystals we have right now. And the main point of the blue post that Blizzard reacted to here when it came to dust was that we required way too many dusts, and we didn't have enough of them. But we had too many shards. So they gave us the ability to turn shards into dust, because we needed more dust and we had too many shards. Now, we also have too many crystals. We only need 1 of them. So what are we going to do with leftover crystals? I think something's happening here, but once again, that's just my thoughts, my perspective, my opinion, and my theory crafting. Either way, big change in the goldmaking scene, and this also spices up shuffling. Tailoring shuffles are back, and some disenchanting shuffles just became better. Enchanting concentration spendage just became better as well, and enchanting became more of an alt army goldmaking profession. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below, check out my War Within Goldmaking Guide for more goldmaking content as per usual, where we talk about gold farms, the best ways to make gold, and just a bunch of information when it comes to goldmaking in the War Within. When you buy the guide, you also get early access to goldmaking videos, gold farms, investments, you name it. You will get that before anyone else gets them, and you will have access to many videos before they go public. And you also will get some exclusive videos as well. We have had several of them in the past, and we're looking to cook up even more as well. We even had a skinning bug that I posted over there as well, which is now kind of public and has been fixed, but either way, that's the video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon. Bye bye now, bye bye.